What up guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about bulking, something I'm going through at the moment, and which is best, either to dirty bulk or to clean bulk. So intro please, and let's go through the topic.
Let's go, let's go!
What up guys, let's get this out of the way before we start this video. If you're new, please subscribe and give me a like or a thumbs down if you don't like the video. If you are watching this and you've been through a bulking phase in either way, comment down below and tell me your experiences. Anyway, let's get down to this video. Right, let's talk about the whole bulking phase. If you're new to bodybuilding or new to any sort of fitness and you're wondering what bulking is, basically going in a surplus with calories, eating more calories than you're burning off. That's it. Simple, no science, because you need to know that it's not that hard to figure out fitness. As long as you're eating above your calories, you're going to put on weight. As if you're eating lower than your recommended calories, what you're actually working off, you are going to lose weight. Simple as that. So when you hear people being really technical about stuff, they're just trying to show off. That, you know what, half of us don't need that, and that's what puts us off about the whole fitness industry. Trying to make things a bit more complicated than they are, and that's when you don't want to do it. You give up and you just eat back to how you was. But anyway, what I'm talking about today is obviously what is better when you're bulking. Is it dirty bulking or is it clean bulking? The two are completely different, and there's benefits on both, and there's obviously not benefits on both. So I'm going to go through both, and then I'm going to do some tips on both, what I think about both, and then at the end of the video I'm going to tell you what I actually do, as I am on my bulking phase at the moment until Christmas, and I will break down basically what I do day to day, and you can do my way if you want. So then, let's go through the dirty bulking phase. Dirty bulking is basically eating whatever you want. The good thing about dirty bulking is you can pack on the calories. It's easier to pack on calories when you're dirty bulking because you can eat anything. You can eat absolutely anything. Obviously, we all follow macros, which are proteins, carbs and fats, but you need to make sure that you're still hitting them. And I think that dirty bulking, you can actually miss them, but I'll talk about that a bit later. The big thing about dirty bulking is you can eat a lot more calories and not be as full, if you get me. What I'm trying to say is you can eat a lot more calories and not feel bloated, not feel like, oh no, how am I going to eat this? You know, you don't have to eat as regular, because what happens is you can have stuff like a McDonald's, which is going to be like 1,500 calories, even more, and it's going to be really easy to eat. And that's because it is not a bulky meal, if you know what I mean. It might feel like a big meal, but who's ever really been full up on a McDonald's meal? Not me. You know, you can eat a couple of them quite easy, and you could probably eat your daily amount of calories in 2 sittings of McDonald's. But the trouble is, what you're doing is then you're not tracking your macros, and that's the problem with dirty bulking. If you're not sensible about it, yes, you will put on weight, but you could lose a lot of muscle mass because your proteins won't be high enough, because obviously the protein is helping develop the muscle as well, obviously with your workout. Your carbs will be up there, but they'll be not up there as much as you'd eat if you was eating like rice and a lot of potatoes and stuff like that. But the thing that you'll hit more is your fats, and it's not a good fats. Obviously it's all fried and stuff like that. So the fats which you will be adding into your body will be the bad fats, the stuff that clings onto you. So when you come to a cut, you will have to lose a lot more fat off your body than you would if you was eating clean. And that's what a lot of people don't realise, that dirty bulking, you see people who are getting really, really big, and yes, they're putting on loads and loads of weight, but when they start cutting, and you see them like losing a lot of weight, and that is because they've been probably dirty bulking and they have to do a lot of cutting to get a lot of the fat away. So if you're going to be dirty bulking, just make sure that you actually are hitting these macros. You know, you really need to hit your macros and the whole carbs, and make sure that if you're going to have a dirty meal or a treat meal, make sure that you're not going to be going over one bad meal or one bad day in a week of goodness. Is not going to wreck your diet. You know, it's not going to affect your body at all. But eating the same stuff every single day, what will happen is that, yes, your muscle will be underneath it, but there will be a hell of a lot of fat stored, and that's when you'll get a big belly. You will not see your abs, and you might feel big, but when you start shredding again and you see all the fat disappear, and you realise that, wow, I wasn't that big at all. I'm not much bigger than I was when I was actually shredded before. So you just have to be careful. The good points, you can eat a lot more. You can definitely hit your calories. You won't feel bloated as much. You will not be worried about fitting the calories in, which is a big bonus. You know, if you cannot fit in calories dirty bulking, you've got a serious eating problem, because it's easy to eat like a McDonald's, some cake, you know, a bit of a Nando's, you know, that's basically over 3,500 calories. That's what I eat, 3,500 calories on my bulking diet, which I might be raising up depending on the next couple of weeks, see if I can put more weight on. But personally, it's good, but like I said, you need to make sure that you track what you're having. You know, make sure the fats are tracked more than the other two, obviously, and you need to make sure that you have a fitness pal, like, and you need to make sure that you've got a program that is probably got a bit of cardio in it, because then you can probably have a few more than bad meals, so because you'll be burning off the calories. So just make sure when you are actually bulking up and you're doing it the dirty way, then just be careful on how much you do eat, because it also will affect you when you do shred. It will take longer for you to lose all that fat. And remember, if you're eating a lot of bad food while you're bulking up, yes, you might be working out. Yes, you might feel like you're getting big and massive. But wait, what happens when you want to shred? You cannot have any of that stuff. You've got to eat proper, clean, you know, little amounts. Probably half of what you're eating, you know, when it comes down to the final cut. How are you going to go from eating a load of rubbish to going cold turkey eating chicken rice? You know, you just got to you know, you're not preparing yourself very well. And that's one big downside of it, because it's like basically quitting smoking and going cold turkey straight away, and then your shredding part will be absolutely nightmare. It will be so much more tougher. So I would say be careful on what you do. Do not binge on food just to get big, because it will affect you in the long run. Now we're going to go and talk about the other part, which is the clean side, or the lean bulking. Right, lean bulking is basically eating calories obviously above your maintenance level to put on weight, but clean. So like you was doing when you were shredding, if you've ever been on a shredding diet or a weight loss diet, you eat mainly clean food. But this is where you just eat the same stuff, but obviously a lot more of it. So you would eat probably 4-5 meals, or bigger portioned meals, depending on what sort of person you're like. I'm not a very big eater. I do actually find it hard to eat clean big meals. I do like my sauces. I can't eat stuff dry, and I find it hard, you know, that whole dry rice and dry chicken all the time. It's not fun. But if you know how to cook, you do not need to go the old-fashioned 70s 80s route. You know, there is plenty of companies out there now doing sauces which are absolutely calorie free, you know, sugar free, because that's one thing you're going to need to do. Just because it's got no calories in, it might have sugar or sweetening in or something, or it might not have no fat, but it's sugar content. You know, sugar and fat are both as bad as each other. You know, just because it's got no fat in it doesn't mean you're not going to put on weight by if it's got a lot of sugar in it, if you get me. So you've got to be careful on the sugar content as well. You know, look at things like, if you have got a sweet tooth, look at things which are a bit lower in calories, you know, or lower in sugar. So this is where obviously you get these grenade bars and stuff, protein bars, which have got that little bit of a chocolate fix to you, but they're not as bad as the like proper chocolate bars, like a Mars bar and stuff like that. Anyway, the good things about eating clean are you're gonna be getting bigger and putting on weight, but you're gonna keep your look. You're gonna be basically building on muscle, and you're gonna be seeing that muscle. You will gain a little bit of fat, because obviously you will not be able to burn off all that food, and so the food that you're not burning off, and that little bit will go onto weight. It will go onto muscle, but also some of it, you know, because obviously you'll be eating in fats as well, will go onto you, but it won't be nothing. It will be what you are now. You know, you'll be very, very, very unlucky if you get a belly from eating lean, unless you're eating like 10,000 calories a day, and you know you're only burning off like 3,000. Then obviously you will get a gut, you know, because it's just an amount of food you're eating. But the good thing about it, you will see your gains, so you will know roughly what you're going to look like when you shred. Obviously there's a lot more to it than losing what you got, because when you're shredding you're losing a lot more weight than you got on you when you're bulking. So you've got to think that when you're bulking and when you're shredding, you're going to look completely different. But when you're shredding and you're finished, you'll probably look bigger than you did when you were bulking. It's weird how it is. You know, here's a couple of pictures of a person who's bulked and he's shredded. They look completely different, but look at the structure, you just look bigger, because obviously you're tapered, your waist is thinner, but your shoulders obviously are big, so you look massive, and just everything is like popping out, so you do look naturally bigger. What I would say about clean eating is it's hard. It is very hard. and it is hard to eat a lot if you're struggling to eat. And I would suggest, like, this is when you have your shakes. These will help you get through your actual calories and get your proteins up, which I actually do. You know, I have one in the morning and one before bed, and it will get your calories up and it will get your protein up and your carbs up. You know, what I do is, if I don't get a mass gainer protein, I would get some oats and mix it in with the actual protein shake itself, you know, and then blend it up. So there's plenty of ways around it, you know. Obviously, I'm eating probably I'm eating 4 meals a day, and I'm having snacks in between, and then the shakes. I'm hitting my target. That's why when I think I might be raising it, that's when I need to really think about what I need to eat and what I enjoy eating. And that's one of the things that you really need to think about. When you're eating clean, you really need to know what you like to eat and find the cleanest, fat-free version, but you've got to make sure that it's gonna give you enough protein, enough calories, enough carbs, because unlike when you're eating dirty, you can have a McDonald's and you can get like 1,500 calories in a meal. You're gonna get about, what, 20-30 grams of protein. You're gonna hit your carbs, which is gonna be probably about 60-70, but you're gonna also put about 50 grams of fat. So you're gonna be like, wow, that's basically everything. I've only got a little bit left to eat on my planner. I've only had one meal, where when you're eating clean, it's completely different. Like, for instance, I can have 2 chicken breasts, a plate full of rice, some broccoli, like the standard meal what you have when you're a bodybuilder, and you'd be lucky if it hits 500 calories, you know what I mean? Yes, it'll hit your protein, yes, it'll hit your carbs, and you know what? Fat will be, at minimum, you're looking at probably 15 grams, maybe 20 grams of fat, if that, you know, and you're thinking, wow, I'm full, I'm bloated, how the hell am I going to eat anymore? You know, I got nowhere near my target. I've still got like another 2,500-3,000 calories to eat, you know, and that's only one meal I've had. So you got to think about what you like eating, what's easy for you to eat. I'm not a big fish fan, and I wish I was, because I know I could get a lot of fish in, but also fish is quite good for you, and there's not much calories in a fish unless you're eating stuff like a salmon, which is good for you because it's got good healthy fats, because that's what you need to look at. Where when you're dirty bulking, you're probably going to eat a lot of saturated fats, which is bad for you. That's the fat that clings around your body and your organs, and that's what makes you really bad and really fat. So good oils are like omega-3s off fish, you know, off nuts, you know, not KP salted nuts and dry roasts. Yes, not them, because they are nice. They're full of salt and fat, bad fats, because of the coating in all that nice goodness. And what you need to do is you need to just basically find out what you like to eat, and then it will be easier, and then it will be easier for you to go through the day enjoying your food and basically getting to them calories that you actually want. Another tip is have a treat. Do not just be one of them miserable people who lives in Tupperware every single day. Oh, I'm bulking, I need to eat like this every single day, the same meal every single day. I'm a good boy. I cannot eat a piece of cake because it will wreck my body. It will lose my gains. It's a load of rubbish. I'm no professional, but I know that a piece of cake, a Nando's, if you love Nando's, you know, if a pizza, Domino's, it's not gonna wreck. You know, in the end of the day, you're having one bad meal, or you're having one bad day. You've been eating all week, right? Good stuff. So why torture yourself by eating what, eating the same stuff every single day, all that's going to happen is you're going to end up hating what you're eating after a while, and you're not going to enjoy. And what happens when you do start hating your food, you go back to the food you do like. So then you start binging and eating the dirty food. Then what will happen is all the fat will go all over you, and then you're basically back to square one. So have that treat, have that cheat day, and enjoy it, because you've been doing it all week and you earn it. Right, the good points of clean eating are you're not going to see much fat on you. You know, you're going to be getting bulkier with all your muscles still showing. You know, you might have a little tiny bit of fluffiness like I am now, you know, but you will see your gains a lot more. You will feel better because you're eating healthier. When you come to a shredding, it's going to be easier to shred and lose that weight. You probably won't have to cut as long if you're going for a show. You might want to do a 6-week shred for a holiday. You know, it will be easier because you won't have to go through a really grueling, really horrible shred where you've got to basically cut your calories down to like 1,000 calories, like, you know, if you've got one of them stupid 6-week shred things, which I just don't think are good for anybody, because you just go back to eating rubbish straight after them 6 weeks, you know, because your body can't handle that calorie deficit. You know, it's just too much, you know, for a person and a human body. The bad things about clean eating is obviously the amount you have to eat. You know, you eat a lot more in volume than you do dirty bulking, and it will be harder for you to eat that amount unless you're a greedy git and you basically can eat like anything. If you are, fair play to you, because it's hard. But your body will adapt to it, you know. Just if you don't just go straight into like a 4,000 calorie plan, because your body won't cope with it, you know. Just slowly graduate it up, you know, a couple of hundred a week, you know, so your body gets used to it, you know, and you'll get there in the end. And the other bad thing about it is you probably will spend a bit more money than you would do binge eating. Obviously, this is what annoys me about the whole food, you know, government, about healthy eating. Why is healthy eating more expensive than eating rubbish? I could go to the shop right now and buy myself a packet of biscuits for 50p, right? And that's 500 calories in a packet of biscuits, right? But if I want to eat something good, like, I don't know, some grapes, I'd have to spend £2.50 on a packet of grapes. It's just a joke. You know what? They don't want to help anybody. You know, if they wanted to help, they would hire the actual bad food and lower the good food, because that is the only way people of every sort of culture to help them diet, because healthy food is more expensive. You can get it on a budget, which I'm going to be doing a video about it. Obviously, if you're doing bulk, because that's the only way you can get it cheaper if you're doing bulk. But I'll be doing a video about my bulk shopping and how I eat on a bulk later in a few weeks' time. Now, obviously, I've been going on too long. You're probably not even watching this, but I want to talk to you about my own bulking plan and what I'm actually doing. And this is the only other alternative you could probably do. And what I do is I do a bit of both. The reason why is because I do actually struggle to eat. I've never been a big eater. I'm good at losing weight. I'm not saying I've never been fat, but I'm good at, I can shred. I can go without food for a whole day. You know, I can fast. I can do all that stuff really easy. I'm probably, if anything, I'm more of a binge eater than a meal person. That's my only downfall. I can snack on stuff, but I can also eat big meals when I fancy it. Like I said, I like stuff in sauces, so I like, unfortunately, the things I like are Italian food, Indians, Chinese's, stuff with sauces, but they're also full of sugar or full of fat. And that's why it's hard for me to bulk up. So what I do is I tend to have probably I do half and half. Some days I will eat completely clean. If I've got some stuff that I actually like doing, you can still make it. Like I can make a bolognese with lean mince, fresh tomatoes and everything fresh, and it's not going to be bad for me at all. I now be fine with that. But sometimes you are going to be in a rush. You might not be able to get home. You can obviously take all your food with you and do that if you want to do that. But I tend to bulk and do my meals day to day. I used to do it like freeze them and do loads of meals, but it just doesn't taste the same, especially when you have chicken and you're reheating it. It just doesn't taste the same because obviously chicken's quite dry anyway, unless you're having it as sauce. So what I tend to do is I cook the meals the day before, take them with me if I'm at work, if I'm working that long, over a long period. On a break I'll have one because it's just easier. Stick it in the microwave. Breakfast time I'll end up having like porridge, a shake, and then I'll have my food which I order for Muscle Food, which will be either bacon, sausages, but it'll all be lean meat. I do not have full fat meat. Make sure if you're going to get meat, it's under 5% fat, because then you'll obviously, when you're checking your macros, your fat is going to be staying to around, I would say, you want to keep it between 50, 60, maximum 70, or it all depends on how many calories. Obviously, the more calories you eat, the more everything goes up. So just make sure your fats are around, as long as you're hitting around the 50, 60 mark, it's all good, right? Because we actually need the fat to help us up with our functioning with our brain, and that's the main reason that fats are good for you. Do not cut out fats and do not cut out carbs, because you know what, carbs gives you energy, fats give you your brain energy, and you need them both, but just don't go OTT on the fats. So basically what I do is I do half and half. I will some days have good meals, a good breakfast, a good dinner, and then if I'm like finishing work and I feel like I can't be bothered, I might go and have a McDonald's just to get them calories in, and then finish with a shake at the end of the night and some sort of light snack. I always check my calories and my macros, so I know I'm not going to go over the important things like the fats, but I like to make sure, because when you're bulking, you will eat a lot of carbs, and that is the main one where you're going to struggle trying to hit, because the carbs are going to be high. Nutri protein, no matter what phase you're doing, bulking or cutting, will probably stay around the same. So I'm about 178 pounds, so I can eat anything up to 180 grams, but I usually have 200, because obviously I want to make sure that if any of that's wasted, I've got that little bit of extra in there. But like I say, you need to get a MyFitnessPal or some sort of calorie checker, nutrition checker, and it does it all for you. You can zap the barcode on whatever food item you got, and it will help you out, tell you the calories, tell you the fats, proteins and carbs, and it's so much easier. But what I want to say to you is I am doing half and half, and I'm now going to show you my physique. This is completely raw. Obviously you can see pictures of me and I look a lot bigger or I look a lot muscler, because it's all edited, it's all not photoshopped, but good lighting, where it's hitting you, you know, obviously, you know, I might have a tan, you know, I might be glowing. Obviously, I've just had a pump at the gym. But this is me. I haven't been to the gym. I don't do gyms at weekends. And what I'm doing is this. I want to show you just before I finish this video is me in my current state. Now, this is without going to the gym. This is out, you know, no lighting. Well, obviously you've got the lighting from the house, but no natural good lighting where it makes you look more ripped and all that lot. I am on a bulking diet. I've just told you what I do, which I do a bit of both. It's probably more cleaner than actual dirty, but you know, to get them macros up, if I feel like I'm not going to hit them that time, you know, if it's late at night and I work in a late shift, I'll have something where I can get them macros up, and that's the only time I actually eat dirty. Yes, I'll have a few biscuits, and if I've got a few macros to play with at the end, you can do that. So this is my current state, you know. Obviously, right, I am not flexing. As you can see, I am still white. I'm trying to get brown, but I'm not. But as you see, right, if I go a little bit under the light, you will see abs. I still got my abs. You see, you got the indentation of abs. You got the, see, I can flex. You can see the chest, you know, developing still. Arms, they're not gonna be as, you know, the definition is going to go when you're bulking, you know, but they're going to look bigger, but they're not going to look like balls, if you know what I mean. Backwise, which is my weak spot, you know, you got to be careful where you actually struggle with your body. Obviously, a lot of people with men is around the love handles. You know, this is my area where I am actually the fattest. But if you want to have a look where I'm actually in fat wise is, I mean, I've got a lot of fat, but that is fat that will go like that when I'm actually on a shredding diet, you know. And if I clean for 2-3 months straight bulking, you would actually see the fat come off me, and I would actually, it would see more, I would get bigger, but the fat will disappear because obviously I'm eating clean. And that's the good thing about clean eating, because you'll be getting bigger, you'll be getting stronger, and you're seeing progress a lot more. If I was going to choose one, I would clean eat completely, and that's what I'm trying to say to you. If you are good at eating and you can eat lots, go clean. Do not have any sort of bad meals, except for that one time, you know, when you want to treat yourself, because it won't make any difference. You know, do that, because you will get more progress than anybody else in that gym who is bulking on all different ways, you know, because you know that it's all you. You know everything you've ate is you. You know when you flex, when you do stuff, it's basically muscle, and there's hardly no fat, will be hardly no fat on you, which won't be hard to get rid of when you come to shredding. And that's the whole point. And if you're thinking about, well, I don't want to bulk, you know, I want to just lose weight, it's the same when you are losing weight. You can lose weight by eating rubbish. If you're eating lower than your calories, but what'll happen is you'll be skinny fat. You'll be skinny, but you'll have that layer of fat. But if you eat clean, the fat will come off. And then that's when you see definition. That's when you see these people going from fat to thin, and they look skinny, but they've got abs and everything. So I'm just going to leave it there right now, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a long one. Recently my videos have been quite long. I've started to enjoy YouTube. I'm really not enjoying YouTube, you know, all the whole experience with old gym and all that. Like, but I am getting back into it now, and I'm starting to enjoy it. I was going to do a food vlog this weekend, but my food from Muscle Food came when I was at work, and obviously my mom put it all in the freezer, and obviously I couldn't do an unboxing. But one time I will do an unboxing of Muscle Food and all the food that I get for the month. Anyway, please give me a like, please subscribe, please tell me your diet if you're ever been on a bulking plan and how you do it. You know, which way do you think is the best? Anyway, I'm gonna go now because I've talked too much and I'm trying to watch a film, but it's not sort of worked because it's like finished now. So anyway, I will see you next time. Have a good weekend.
Let's go!